If you're not ready to move out of your parents' house, don't even watch this video, babe. Don't watch it. I'm gonna give you a step-by-step guide on literally how to move out in a year. I graduated summer of 2023, and as soon as I got back home, I just felt like all the freedom that I had was snatched away from me. I was like, hold on. Okay, I feel a little confined. Once I came to that realization, I knew that I couldn't stay here for at least another year. I couldn't, babes. So immediately I got to researching the city that I always wanted to move to, which is New York City. And I'm here now. I've always knew that I wanted to move to New York, but it was definitely set in stone then and there because I knew I had the possibility to make that happen. And so do you. If you have a job and you're able to make an income, you are all set. That's the one thing that's necessary for this. Step number 1, figure out where you want to move to. Step number 2, start researching apartment complexes. Start researching the homes that you want to live in. Figure out what the prices are over there, what's required. Because I know in New York City here, you have to make 40 times the rent. Babe, I was like, hold on, I just graduated. How am I gonna make 40 times the rent? You're gonna have to figure these things out on your own. Credit score also plays a huge effect into like moving into a new space. You have to have good credit. So go ahead and open up a credit card. Y'all, I've never had a credit card before. I decided to go ahead and check my credit score because although you probably never had a credit card, you still have a credit score. So I went ahead and I checked my credit score, saw what it was. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I opened up a credit card. The credit card that I have is Discover It. It's great for students, great for young adults. It's a great first time credit card. I did like my research when it came to credit and building it, and I paid everything off in full like 3 times a month. You can also just pay it 1 time a month, but just pay it off in full before it's due, and then your credit will continue to rise. I was making sure just to purchase like little things, like if it was for my gas is $30. I'm gonna go ahead and pay back $35 because that extra payback also helps boost your credit score. So just little things like that. Just knowing the basics on how to use a credit card. Other than that, saving up money was also a huge factor in everything. At the time, I moved back into my parents' house. I was working, but I had no rent to pay. If you don't have rent to pay, babe, you are good. You're ballin', babes. Put that in your savings account, watch it grow. Don't spend money on things that you don't need to spend on. Just keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is moving out. When it comes to preparing financially as well, before I moved out, I was able to save up at least $7,000. At least $7,000. First months of rent, that is your deposit, and then also some money for once you get there or your flight, also money for furniture, just to get you settled down. Now, you're not going to be settled within a month or 2. It's been 5 months for me, and I'm just now starting to settle down. I need this one last thing. I will be all set and like really comfortable living here. And this one is for my girls who live with like strict parents. I did not tell my parents that I was moving out until 3 months beforehand. You can wait to tell them or you can tell them immediately, but I just know how my parents are, and I know that if I were to tell them, they'll probably like, I don't know, make me start paying rent. That's my worst fear. So I just made sure not to say anything until 3 months beforehand. Just kind of kept it to myself, and I was just stacking my money quietly and silently. Maybe, not telling them was the best thing for me, because if it was a thing of them being like much more understanding and stuff, it would have made it a bit more difficult for me to move out, because I would have been like, oh, my family, I don't want to leave my family. What really secured the deal of me moving out is me not telling them at all. A lot of people have questions about when it comes to finding roommates, and the way that I was able to find my roommates, I kind of already knew a few people here in New York City. A girl that I was already friends with, I actually met her in a whole nother country. She lived in New York. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking crazy. She was like, hey girl, you can come and visit me anytime in New York City. So when it came to me visiting New York, I would always stay with her, and she was just like, hey, if you ever want to move to New York, let's be roommates. Once I graduated college, I reached out to her and I was like, hey girl, I'm taking you up on this offer. Give me like about a year. I'm gonna stack up my bread and we're gonna move in together. Rent in New York is a bit more pricier, so you're definitely going to need roommates. But if you think you can like afford rent on your own, girl, go ahead and do that. That's best. The way that we were able to find a third roommate was like my roommate going through her friends and being like, hey, is anyone looking for an apartment? And then someone mentioning their friend, who ended up being our roommate. The internet has so many resources when it comes to finding roommates, so I'm gonna list them all here. And then also, if you are unable to like find any good roommates on those websites, you can also join Facebook group chats like New York City roommate finder. I'm gonna also try to put some keywords in here that you could search up. You can also reach out to people via social media. If you know someone that lives in that city, DM them, be like, hey, do you know anyone that's looking for a roommate? You know, just always reaching out. How are you ever gonna know if you don't reach out? Once you do end up finding a roommate, I want you to be extremely clear when it comes to your preferences, you guys. Like, you do not know how a person is until you truly live with them. And I'm so thankful that I love my roommates. I'm so thankful that my roommates are clean. I'm thankful that we all share the same personality. So we all live in a space that's so beautiful, so happy, so like filled with life. Take your time when it comes to finding a roommate. If you have to delay the deadline of you moving out, go ahead and do that. Take your time when it comes to finding a roommate. I cannot stress this enough, you guys. That is a place where you are going to be laying your head, a place that you're going to be coming back to every single night, every single day. You're going to want to take your time with this. Even before you guys move in together, go ahead and schedule a FaceTime call. That's what me and my roommates did. Schedule a FaceTime call to get to know each other, and just take your time. That's all I can say is just take your time and be safe. That is an in-depth step-by-step video on how you can move out as well. And y'all, I'm in New York City now in my apartment. This was definitely on my 2024 vision board and I was able to achieve it by August of 2024. So I'm just truly blessed, truly happy, truly grateful, and I hope I can help someone else out. You are just one step closer to like literally living your dream life, you guys. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.